Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 145th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Conan. As some of you may know, Conan and another Brotherhood member called CONAN were the founders of the Brotherhood, and the foundations that they set have stood the Brotherhood in good stead for all this time, as Brotherhood is still so strong after all those years. And then we have a Brotherhood member Turbo. You may know him as Landau now, but a lot of RTW veterans will know him as Turbo, and he has bought the Rome Julio faction. Then we have a Brotherhood member Cal, who has bought the Rome Brutio faction. And then myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Rome Julio faction there. So there's our team there. A lot of experienced RTW players there, and I believe Conan and myself have played this since it first came out. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Conan's army here, as he tends to build specific armies for each battle. And if you notice, he's bought 4 archers here, and also if you notice, he's bought his cavalry general. Now, as I said, about 8, 9, 10 years ago, bringing a Rome cavalry general was the normal thing to do, but it's very old school these days, as we know, because most of us bring an infantry general now. But it's nice to see Conan bring that cav general. And you see, he's got those 4 archers, and that's his build of his army there. But he's built that army because he knows he was facing the Greek cities, and of course the Greek cities usually bring a lot of archers. That's why he bought 4 archers and his cavalry general. Remember, his cavalry general will move very fast and can maybe kill a lot of those archers, as it can outrun the heavy cavalry of the Greek cities' allies there. Anyway, here is the other team, and we have IOW BELISARIUS, who has bought the Greek cities faction. And then we have That's What People Say, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. I believe it's another RTW player, a well-known RTW player, but I'm not quite sure. But that's the name he's taken today. And then we have Heaven's member BISCUITS, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. And then we have Brotherhood member LIONDWARF, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. So there's the other team. I think this should be a really great battle for you to watch. At this very early stage of the battle here, can you see that Conan's moved his archers over to try and get some casualties on the enemy troops as they're moving? But if you notice, here is cavalry, old school cavalry general here. He's moving over very quickly to attack the Greek city archers. Now, Conan knows that cavalry general of his is very fast and very maneuverable. So when the enemy cavalry comes over to try maybe to get his general, he knows that he'll be able to outrun that heavy cavalry, plus he maybe even to kind of play with them a little bit, where he can pull away. See the heavy enemy cavalry there, he's pulled away, but he's not kind of running completely away, and now he's going to turn. Wouldn't surprise me if he turned and then charged into those archers again, those enemy archers again. Can you see how maneuverable that Roman cavalry general is? Nice use of old school general there. As you can see, Conan's now moving his forces over towards the centre there. Right, can you see here in the middle, our Julii ally there is now being attacked by the Greek cities. Now, remember, we've talked in other battle videos, what does a Greek cities general want? He wants to take on Rome head on if he can. So if you notice there that the Greek cities general's really run over as fast as he can there, and is trying to take on our ally there. Right, I'm just going to pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation. Now, this is a very early stage of the battle. We haven't even all formed up yet. And can you see the aggressive Greek cities general has seen his chance and charged into our allies' Julii Roman infantry there. And that's going to be a real tussle in that centre there, I think. And you can see the enemy Scipio forces moving forward to support their Greek city ally. And if you notice that Cal's moved forward with his Brutii army there to support, I think it's Turbo in the middle there. So as I say, with the Greek cities attacking flat out like that, that's as I say, that could be pretty awkward for us in the centre. Let's see what happens next. Right, if you notice there, the Greek cities now have put their pikes down and are now advancing steadily into our allies' Roman infantry there. Meanwhile, over on our right flank, can you see the enemy Scipii infantry have made a really fast movement forward and has now put our allies' flank in danger there. Can you see Turbo's flank is now exposed to a hit there on the right flank from the enemy team. If you notice, the enemy Scipii general is now sending infantry over to hit Turbo in the flank. So Turbo's not only fighting Greek cities at the front, he's having enemy Scipii infantry coming in on his flank as well. Not a very envious position to be in there, I don't think, really, to be honest with you. And I bet veterans watching this are thinking to themselves they wouldn't want to be there either, same as what I was thinking. So as you can see, the enemy Scipii infantry are advancing round, they're coming forward. It wouldn't surprise me if they wanted to get in behind Turbo's army there. There's a general overview of the battle there, so you can see exactly the positions of all the armies there. As you can see here on our left flank, there's not a lot going on. It's just kind of just setting up and a movement there. But as you've seen in other battle videos, very often a quiet place can all of a sudden turn into where a lot of action can start. But as I say, at the moment, if you notice there's one of our allies' units in Testudo. Can you see the cavalry charging into that Testudo? Plus he's got the enemy have got Scipii infantry attacking that Testudo too. But can you see how well the Testudo holds? New players watching this, you know, you might be thinking about putting some units into Testudo. There's a good example of how well in Testudo a unit will hold. Meanwhile, over on our right centre, you can see that our allies' Julii infantry are fighting the best they can against that slow-moving, steamrolling Greek cities army. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. Now, if you notice there, the enemy Scipii infantry now have really got to the flank of our ally. If you notice, Conan is now doing a right flanking action here, trying to kind of make this Scipii infantry move back, trying to take a little bit of pressure off the centre there. Nice little move there by Conan. But as I say, at the moment you can still see there's a lot of pressure on our right centre there, with the Greek cities attacking and the enemy Scipii infantry on his right. You can see Conan's cavalry generals just returned from killing loads and loads of those Greek cities archers there with that. If you notice here, you can see that the Greek cities are gradually making inroads into the our allies' Roman infantry there. Let's say, meanwhile, over on our left, not a lot of action going on at the moment. Just waiting to see what happens there. Let's just pause the game for a second for us to take stock of the situation. As I say, here on the left, things are pretty quiet at the moment. In our right centre here, you can see, as I say, that seems to be where most of the action's happening there. And I think Turbo's army is holding quite well, bearing in mind he's got Scipii infantry coming in behind. He's got Greek cities pounding at his front. Plus I think there's a lot of archer fire going into him as well, so he's doing really well. As you see, Conan's here has done a wide flanking right action here, trying to put pressure on the enemy Scipii infantry there. But I don't like the position of that Scipii infantry, because it can then get in behind Turbo and cause a lot of problems, as I said earlier. So there's a general overview of the battle there. As you can see, I don't think it's looking very good for our team at the moment. And as I say, that Greek city's general's dreams almost come true, fighting a Roman army head on. As I say, in other battle videos that I've said, shown you that Spartans love to fight Roman generals head on. Right, can you see the enemy Scipii cavalry going to charge through the Greek cities? Now this could be a pivotal part of the battle, and bang, as that cavalry hits. Right, can you see, after a really fierce battle there, but all the pressure on Turbo's army has caused it to break. So let's pause the game here for us to take stock of exactly what's happened here. So our right flank here, our centre right flank here, has now been broken by the enemy. After a terrific battle there by Turbo, it's now been broken. That was a fantastic Scipii cavalry charge there that finally broke his army. So as you can see there, we're bringing cavalry over to try and hit this Scipii infantry on the right here. Conan's attacking as well, bringing his cavalry in as well here on the right flank. But as you can see, at the moment, things are not looking very good for us. As you can see here, Turbo's army has now been attacked by the enemy Scipio infantry in front. So there's a general overview of the battle there. As I say, I don't think things are looking very good for our team. You can see I'm moving my infantry over behind Cal's army there. I don't want to put my infantry in with Cal's army, because if his units start to rout, then that could cause a chain rout and make my army rout as well. So I just want to be as close as I can to support him. Can you see, let's pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation. You can see the enemy Scipio cavalry coming in. Cal's counter-charging with his cavalry there. I've got my infantry there, and all my infantry now are on autopilot. So any enemy troops, cavalry, infantry comes in within range, they're going to get a good piling from my infantry there. If you notice, the Greek cities have broken through and they can come round to the right flank. Over here on our absolute right, you can see Conan fighting with the Scipio infantry there. We're putting in cavalry hits and everything there. But let's see, here at the moment it seems, as I said before, I think it's a bit precarious for us here at the moment. Right, you can see there a lot of Turbo's infantry is starting to rout now, just in front of my army. Can you see the Greek cities that have just broken through on our right centre there, and now attacking my infantry on the right flank there? A lot of Turbo's units are routing there, but some of his units are still holding, so really well done to Turbo there. Sorry, Cal. It's Cal and it's Brutii army there. As you can see here, we're charging cavalry and infantry into the enemy on our right flank here. You can see a lot of the enemy Scipio units are starting to rout here. Also with Conan's 4 archer units as well, shooting arrows into the enemy, lowering their morale as well. That's good for us. But if you notice back in the right centre here, you can see that the Greek cities now are attacking my flank. Cal with his Brutii army is holding extremely well there against a massive hit by those Scipio units here. As we pause the game to have a look again, as you can see, there's masses of enemy Scipio troops charging into Cal's Brutii army. But if you notice that we seem to have done quite well on the right flank there. We seem to have routed a lot of the Scipio units on our right there. So I think this game is still very much up in the air and could go either way here. As you can see, a lot of our cavalry, we've still got a lot of cavalry left that we're charging in. And a lot of the, as I say, a lot of the enemy Scipio units are starting to rout now at this stage on our right flank. If you notice, the Greek city units have got in behind my Julii army there. So not only am I trying to hold at the front there, I've got Greek city units coming in behind as well. But meanwhile, over on our right flank there, it looks like we've managed to rout most of the Scipio army on our right. And on our right, and if you notice that Conan now has brought infantry over towards the centre now. Let's say Cal's Brutii army is still holding extremely well there against such a massive attack by the enemy there. As you can see here, there's a lot of cavalry attack going in there, and we're now bringing our infantry over as well now. As you can see, there's a lot of cavalry going in. And there you can see a lot of the enemy Scipio troops starting to rout now. And if you notice now, that final cavalry charge we just brought in there from the right flank has actually routed a lot of the Brutii forces there. And you can see a lot of the Scipio cavalry are charging in from the left flank there to try and counter our attack from the right. If you notice now that Conan's bringing his infantry over from the right there and is pushing in on the enemy centre there.
Your allies are running away. They have no more stomach for this fight.
Just pause the game here for us to take stock of the situation at the moment. And if you see that our Julio infantry are closing in on the Scipio infantry there and causing them to start to rout now. You see we've got cavalry out there to the left ready to charge in. And let's say we're pausing the game just to have a look at a moment. And as you can see there, that's the general battle situation at the moment. You can see we're just charging, putting in a final cavalry charge here from the left there. And I think that's going to rout a lot of the enemy units. If you can notice there that the Scipio general's still alive there, still giving morale to his troops. So I'm going to aim. Can you see I've got some battle damaged cavalry that I'm just going to charge in there now to try and kill the Scipio general there. If I can just rout him, then the morale of his troops will drop, and bang, as that cavalry hits. Did you see that now a lot of his units morale will drop now, and I would think a lot of the enemy Scipio infantry will start to rout. As you can see here, there's still some Scipio cavalry left that he's going to charge in there, but notice he's running his cavalry into routing troops there, so his own cavalry morale will start to drop there, so it wouldn't surprise me if they start to rout as well. And there you go, they've started to rout as well. They were already battle damaged. But if you notice now that after a fierce battle there, it looks like our team has managed to go on and win this. Well, bearing in mind that we lost our right centre at the beginning of the battle there, about midway through the battle there, I think our team seems to have done quite well to have managed to turn things around there. If you look at the dead on the battlefield, you can see that this battle was certainly spread out from one flank to the other. You can see that there's dead there, and then we come up to a really thick pile of dead there where the fighting was most intense. I think there's only a couple of the enemy units left now. And so there you go. It was a great battle to be in. I thought the other team played really well there, and I thought we did really well to manage to turn the battle around. Which, from when we lost our right centre there, I thought our team did well to kind of turn that around there. The first thing I'd like to say is really well done to everybody in the game. I thought both teams played really well there. I thought the other team played extremely well. Lots of really aggressive attacking moves there. And when our actual right centre actually, after a terrific fight, finally folded, I thought maybe that might have been the end for us there. If you notice there, Conan's got some really good kills, and bearing in mind we were not up against big units, like we weren't up against a Macedon or Seleucid 120 man units. For him to get over 2,000 kills, I think that that's really good. So really well done to him. As I say, I thought the other team played extremely well, and really well played to Turbo, Conan and Cal. I thought their teamwork and tactical moves and big cavalry hits did extremely well in this game there, so really well done to them. I thought the Greek cities general there, when he actually broke through our right centre there with the help of that massive cavalry charge from behind him, I thought, as I say, they were going to drive in there and kind of drive a wedge between our allies there on the right flank and on the left. But we managed to hold that quite well, I think, with our cavalry attacks there. So once again, really well played to everybody in the game. And if you like this battle and other Brotherhood battles, I would say please subscribe to our channel so that you'll be informed automatically when the next battle is ready to watch. This is Spartan Commander saying bye for now.